If you live in a small apartment, there's a good chance that you're dealing with a little baby kitchen. So how do you give your small kitchen the styling magic it deserves without overwhelming it or overwhelming you? I happen to know a thing or two about decorating small kitchens. My current kitchen is roughly 80 square feet, and when I lived in my studio apartment, that kitchen was a measly 42 square feet. I loved that kitchen though. So in this video, I'm gonna share some small kitchen styling tips that are budget friendly, and will just make the whole kitchen decorating process simpler. Because you'll find as you're watching this video that these tips really are very simple. So if you tend to overthink things, keep watching. And if you're new here, my name is Steffi, and on this channel I talk about small apartment styling tips, cozy living inspiration, and the joys of living alone. So if you're into that, consider subscribing and giving this video a like. So my first very simple small apartment kitchen styling tip is something that I think maybe a lot of us overlook. Like, it's super simple, but I think it's a step that kind of gets skipped over, and then it leads to choosing decor that doesn't end up working for your kitchen. And that is to really dial into what you're working with in your kitchen already. Really look at the existing colors, materials, layout, etc. in your kitchen, and think about how you can really lean into and complement what's already there. Because in a rental apartment, it's not like you can remodel. The backsplash, the cabinets, the floor, these are pretty much things you're stuck with. So what do they look like? What colors and materials are you basically being forced to work with? And think about how you can lean into that rather than force something that ultimately won't complement your kitchen as it is. Like I said, this is very simple, and you might even think it's a no duh Steffi, but it's very easy to just not consider what you're working with and just go with that, thing that you want to buy just because it by itself is pretty. But will it in your kitchen look pretty is the question. This is something that this kitchen definitely taught me, because as you can see, it's very much a brown kitchen. It is truly and utterly brown. And I found that a lot of the decor that I own or that I would usually gravitate towards buying wouldn't really fit in here, at least not ideally. So to make this kitchen work for me, it meant just shopping for a few little things with this very brown aesthetic in mind. And it led me to buy some really cute decor that I might not have bought if it weren't for this existing color palette and vibe in here. So the moment I leaned into the brownness was the moment this kitchen started to work for me. So look around your kitchen. What colors are you working with? What materials are you working with? All the things that we cannot change in our apartments. And how can you lean into and complement what's already there? Because resistance is futile when it comes to rentals. And this transitions nicely into my next little set of tips, which all have to do with finding the pretty little things for your small kitchen. And what I personally did with this kitchen when I moved into this apartment almost a year ago, oh my God. What I did with this kitchen when I first moved in was I shopped what I already had first. And that's definitely what I recommend you do as well. Shop what you already have. Take inventory of your existing decor, because ideally we'll be spending as little money as possible. So you might as well look at what you have first and see if anything works well with your kitchen as it is. And you might find that a lot of what you have doesn't really click well with your kitchen. So this is when it's time to fill in the gaps of your styling by shopping for new things. When you are ready to spend some money on a luxury like decor. And really, like, this is the fun part. I had so much fun shopping with my mom for new decor. If you watch this video when I decorated this kitchen, like around when I first moved in, you'll see my mom and I's shopping trip finding these pretty little things. And we had a ball. Shopping for decor with my mom, that's my happy place. And when we were shopping for this stuff, I had this particular kitchen in mind. Its colors and materials and so on. So when you're shopping for new decor for your small kitchen, really be selective about the things you're buying. I mean, first of all, there's only so much counter space you probably have in your small kitchen. So a place on that counter space is a very competitive slot in your whole decorating scheme. And in case you need some ideas on just the types of things that you can buy to enhance the aesthetic quality of your kitchen, here are a few things that you can consider. You can get little floral pieces and put them in cute vases. And of course, there's candles. Candles work in every room, especially a kitchen when all kinds of smells can be happening in here. Good ones like garlic, and then bad ones like broccoli. So when you're making broccoli, you want a candle or two. Anything that sort of helps get those undesirable smells out of here. You can also get a serving tray, you know, just like this one. Well, not just like this one, because this one I got years ago and you're probably not gonna find it. Take a look on Pier 1's website, maybe they have it. Anyway, a serving tray is a wonderful way to add a little bit of your personal style without taking up additional counter space, because as you can see, if you put it on display like I've done, it's just leaning up against the wall. It's not like it's actually taking up much space, you know? Anyway, a serving tray is an idea. You could also consider getting cute little cabinet knobs. So if you want to add a little bit of your own personal style into your kitchen, an easy way to do that is by replacing the knobs, but keeping the ones that were already in the kitchen so that you can replace them back, because we want to get our damaged deposits back, you know? You can also get cute soap dispensers, which are infinitely more attractive than just having a bottle of soap out, you know, as you bought it in the grocery store. There are lots of places that you can get aesthetically pleasing soap dispensers from. Target, World Market, Etsy. Definitely take a look and find one that fits with your personal style and fits with your kitchen. You can also get a cute rug for your kitchen. This is an opportunity to add a splash of color, a pattern, some texture, and just give your kitchen some softness. Like when I got this rug for this kitchen, I found that it just added this cozy softness to the kitchen and just made it feel complete. So those were just a few ideas on some pretty little things that you can get for your small kitchen. And again, just remember, there's only so much space on the counters for these pretty little things, and you want to be selective about what you get. This is my favorite pretty little thing. So in addition to finding pretty little things, my next tip has to do with avoiding ugly things. With kitchens, things can get real ugly real fast because kitchens are a highly functional space. Like they're a space that is meant to be actively used, as opposed to like a living room where the main activity is lounging on the couch. In the kitchen, the main activity is getting stuff out, cooking stuff, doing things. It's a more active space. And what comes with a more active space is more opportunities for little ugly moments to pop up. Now, I am not here to judge, exist in your kitchen however you please, but this is an interior styling video, so I'm gonna give you styling tips. And when it comes to styling a small kitchen, having the ugly little things out is a surefire way to kill the pretty little things out. The pretty little things that you worked so hard to curate for your kitchen. So here's some examples of ugly little things that can surface in a kitchen. A dish soap bottle, or really any cleaning agents. A bottle of Dawn dish soap, for example. As cute as that little duckling is, this bottle is not going to do anything for the style of your kitchen. So something like this, I would recommend storing away. Another example, back to the hand soap bottle issue. A bottle of hand soap, as you buy it in the grocery store, is not going to be the most stylish thing next to your sink, and that's why getting cute soap dispensers answers that problem. It really is all about these tiny little details, especially when it comes to a tiny little space, where all of these tiny little things make big visual impacts. Another example of an ugly little thing for a kitchen would be unattractive storage. The next thing I'm going to talk about in this video is all about storage, so I'm going to elaborate on this in a little bit, but basically there is decorative storage and then there is utility storage, and we want the utility storage to be hiding away. And then there's also, of course, like random clutter, dishes in the sink. These are things that are going to detract from the overall style of your kitchen. And remember, this is a style that you worked hard. Hello, kitty. This is a style that you worked hard to put together, and you don't want anything to take away from the shine, Look at this baby. So all in all, instead of letting the ugly things take away from the pretty things, store them away. Which brings me to the next topic, which is storage. I've mentioned storage a couple times in this video. Now let's dive a little bit deeper into what a storage situation in a small kitchen can look like. Basically for me, I just break it down into two types of storage, which I mentioned earlier. There's decorative storage and then there's utility storage. Utility storage can be like plastic bins that work really well for storage, but don't look great on the counter. A piece of utility storage could also just simply be a cardboard box. Basically, utility storage is the ugly storage that works really well for us, but works best when hidden. And then there's decorative storage, which is where form meets function. It serves the dual purpose of being cute, but also useful. I have a couple examples of cute storage on my countertops here. I have this little cylindrical canister, which is where I keep my coffee. And then I also have this other little canister. which is where I keep Hilo's cat food. And there are so many other ways that you can store things just out on your countertops within cute containers. Decorative storage can come in many forms, and basically for me, I make my decorative storage pieces contain the things that I get on a daily basis that I want to easily reach for, like Hilo's cat food and my coffee. Those are daily things that I reach for that I want to, you know, be very accessible every day. So when you're thinking about the decorative storage that you could have on your countertops, think about the things that you use on such a regular basis that it just improves your quality of life to have them out on your counters, but in something pretty. So overall, a small kitchen would benefit from using a combination of decorative storage and utility storage. The two really can work together as a dynamic duo, just separately. So those were the small apartment kitchen styling principles that I personally live by and have sort of guided me throughout the styling of my kitchens throughout the years. Let me know in the comments below, are there any kitchen styling principles that you live by that I didn't mention? And if you want more small kitchen inspiration and get a look into my personal process with decorating this kitchen when I first moved into this apartment, I recommend you watch this video next. This is the video where my mom and I went shopping for the decor in here. And it's just like a really cozy, feel-good video. So I definitely recommend you watch this one next.